Hello, I'm John Abraham, and I have with me Danielle Royston from Totogi.
Yeah.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi. This is amazing. You guys are kicking off a little video series. And
That's
so,
right.
So happy to be here. This is
Talking
really great.
Transformation, that's the name of our YouTube channel.
That's a great name. That's a great name. Yeah.
Thank you. So you are pretty much the public face of telco transformation in the public cloud.
Yeah.
Tell us, in the economic climate that we are in, which is not that great, what does that mean for public cloud adoption by telcos?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why it's always a great time to move to the public cloud, right? Public cloud is a really great way for telcos to save a lot of money on infrastructure management, getting rid of managing their own data centers and really accelerating their innovation. But I think it does the other thing, which is, when you use products like Totogi, the ability to find new revenue streams.
Right.
So it's always great, the things that you're in control of, reduce your costs.
Right.
The things you're not in control of, getting your subscribers to spend more money.
Right.
And the public cloud is a great enabler of that.
Right.
And with generative AI and AI coming on the scenes, like more now than ever, right? This is going to be just such a pressure on telcos to start adopting this new technology. And I think the cloud is a great way to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have, over the years, seen different attitudes towards public cloud, especially by telcos. Starting from we don't need it, or we won't use it, to or we won't put some kinds of data on it, and so on. So where's the line right now on adoption of public cloud?
I mean, I think we've blown right through the glass ceiling, as they say, on public cloud. I think it was a no-brainer with internal workloads. I think BSS were totally there. But the news that we saw with Nokia and AWS with Telefonica Germany, right? I think with Dish, it was a greenfield new 5G network, and everyone's like, okay, we'll see how it works. But this is a brownfield telco in a major network, millions and millions of subs. And Malik Rao, the CTO there at Telefonica Germany, I mean, clearly just dipping his toe into it. I mean, starting with a 5G core over at AWS, moving, a few million subs. Clearly Ericsson, the incumbent core vendor, will not go down without a fight. But this is, this is Pandora's box. And so I think we're going to see more and more telcos experimenting like Malik. I mean, they're going to watch from afar, right? You're not going to hear a lot of chatter, but if this works, I think it's game over. And so, maybe not network workloads, but I think now people are starting to say it's the network that's going to make people move to the public cloud, which is an insane thought. If I had said this to you even 4 years ago, you would have called me crazy. And now it's happening. Yeah, it's awesome.
And you have had your own bit of success there. A really big one in Africa, moving all of their real-time charging. Talk to us a bit more about that.
There's a lot of unfortunate humanitarian crises going on around the world in different spots, and Sudan has been one of the worst. I think United Nations calls it like one of the biggest humanitarian crises on the planet at the moment. And in February, right before MWC, the conflict caused the electricity to be cut off from Sudan's 2 data centers, just dead. And I mean, besides the fact that all the revenue disappeared overnight, obviously connectivity in that region is so key. I mean, it's the way they transfer money, it's the way that they communicate safe passage, it's the way they keep in touch with their loved ones. And so literally, I think the only charging product that could have solved it in the world was Totogi, right? Where we were able to plug a 2G network into the public cloud, right? And get it up in 18 days. So, taking over, an incumbent charger, based in a Nordic country, I think was unheard of, right? They asked us to do it in 2 weeks, and I'm like, you're going to give your old school vendors, like 6 months would be insane. But I was like, I love a challenge, let's go do it. We did it in 18 days. The teams had to collaborate really 24/7. And given the situation, obviously, shortcuts and concessions were made on the transition. It started out as disaster recovery, right? Let's just provide disaster recovery. But when they saw the capability and how fast we could stand it up, the teams were like, why don't we just make this our primary charger? And so they were losing millions of dollars, per week, like north of 10 million a week. And in 18 days, we plugged it in, and the revenue back, game on. And so we're super obviously proud of this. I mean, this is 20 plus million subscribers, right?
20 plus million.
Correct.
18 days.
Yes.
Remarkable.
And so, yeah, all on the public cloud. Using the scale, we can instantly scale when we can see people coming awake in the country, and then they have the like normal lull of the day. Maybe towards dinner it goes up again, and then down. And I think what's so remarkable, especially in Africa, which is mostly 2G, 3G continent, right? Only low 20% is on 4G, and only 1% is 5G. So imagine the capability of African operators to bypass the problems that we've seen with the 5G operators, you know, where they opened up Pandora's box, they were giving unlimited data to everyone, and now they're like, how do we monetize all the data growth? You know, Africa hasn't gone through that, and so they can just totally have a different experience, right? Plug it into the public cloud, add AI, add machine learning. It might be a different experience in Africa. And so I'm really excited to be part of that.
Right, well done.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, talking about AI, I mean, that's the theme of the season.
Yeah.
So I think this is perhaps one of the first times where we have a new technology that is, you know, being adopted by telcos almost at the same pace as enterprises.
Right, external.
So, yeah. And I use the word adopted by telcos with, you know, it's not widespread adoption. Let's say it's the early experimentation phase. So what are your thoughts on how big can GenAI be for telcos?
Super huge, right? Bigger than public cloud. And you're going to need the public cloud to do it. You know, this is going to change our world, right? Apple made their announcement with Apple Intelligence of how they're going to change iOS 18, right? And so this is now going to eliminate the idea of user interface, right? I wrote a blog a few days ago about zero AI. The promise of AI is no UI. And so, we're going to interact with our devices in a much different way, than we've ever had without our eyeballs and without our fingers. Right? And so our subscribers are going to have that experience, and they're going to expect it from the telco. And so, you know, if there's a place to really attack and really implement AI, it's in, you know, we're at TM Forum, right? This is basically a BSS show, right? It is the BSS, right? And so Totogi with BSS Magic is squarely going after that. And what we're really going after is the billions of dollars that the industry spends on CRs. CRs are terrible, right? I mean, you got to have the idea, 6 months in advance? You got to go to your vendor. You got to have the idea. You got to get the technical workup. You got to get it done. You got to pay for it. And it's just so slow. And so, I mean, the power of AI is the ability to generate code from natural language, not a technical person, a business person. And so, you know, Wayne Gretzky always talked about skate to where the puck is going to be, famous hockey guy, right? And so the puck is going to be with zero UI, business people creating new features, new screens, new capability, integrating, migrating, and AI is going to drive all of that, and so cannot be bigger. I mean, it's huge.
So tell us a bit about BSS Magic. I got to see an early demo at Barcelona. Now, obviously, it has come a long way. I've seen some recent announcements. So talk to us a bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is evolving as fast as generative AI. You know, since we've met, I think Claude 3 has come out, OpenAI 4.0, you know, ChatGPT 4.0. We expect 5 to come out in the summer. And so it's just every time these guys put out something new, we're trying to figure out how we can leverage it. And so you're right, you saw we debuted it at MWC 24. And, you know, we've been really contemplating how are people going to adopt this. And one of everyone's questions is like, well, what modules do you guys have? You know, right here on this TM Forum picture, point out the modules you guys support. And my answer is all of them and none of them. Because we're not, you know, it's kind of like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, Neo, right? There is no spoon, right? And that's what's going to happen in BSS, right? Today, people have, you know, in some cases, hundreds of BSS systems and modules installed at an OpCo. Lester Thomas was on a podcast a couple of years ago where he said across Vodafone, he's from Vodafone, across 24 OpCos, they have 180 BSS systems installed at each one. You do that math, that's like 4,000 BSS systems. So when you think about the ecosystem inside a telco, it's not the same vendor, right? It's not even mostly the same vendor. I mean, maybe if you're AT&T with Amdocs and they're, over $1 billion spend. But in general, you're going to see a lot of vendors. So what we're starting with is spaghetti code, a big mess. And so BSS starts by harmonizing the data structures of your BSS ecosystem. That's one of the problems with the ODA, which is it's a really fantastic idea. We love the ODA, right? We were one of the leaders on the leaderboard. But one of the problems is harmonizing the data structures of all those vendors, right? It's one thing to have, just that integration code talking, but you start to deliver on the promise of the ODA, which is the interoperability and swapping out vendors. And it doesn't work because the data structures are not the same from vendor to vendor. You have a problem. So you got to go retest it and reevaluate it. And so it's not quite exactly right. So with generative AI, it's fantastic at reading data structures, integrating code, migrating data. So we start with an AI-enabled data structure. We wrap it in an AI PI, an AI API. So now you can interact with your data, with your data structures across your ecosystem. And I bought STL about a year ago, and they have it's a BSS system, also on the TM Forum leaderboard in terms of supporting all, getting all their APIs certified. And so we pulled that data structure into BSS Magic, and away we go. We're like, solve this customer support ticket. Easy, no-brainer. We're like, tell me which plans are the most profitable, right? Pretend you're McKinsey consultants. Give me 3 ideas to improve my business. But like I said earlier, generating code is going to be the really powerhouse of AI. So we're like, generate a new screen, add new functionality, add a new field. So here at the show, and later if people are watching this and they want to see it, we have it running on top of an MTN installation, right? BSS Magic is interacting with that data, and you can ask it, pretend you're a McKinsey consultant and tell me what to do, without the expensive McKinsey consultant. Don't tell Ferry Griesbeek about this at all. But we were super excited about that, and again, like I said, we're going to go after the billions of dollars of CR spend. We're really going to shortcut that. I think telco. Not just IT departments, but really business leaders. The true value of that BSS is those insights hidden in the data. It's not the user screens, it's not the data entry. It's what the heck is going on in the data. Let me see it, let me lift it out, and now you can interact with it with natural language processing, which is pretty amazing. So
Great, lots going on, and well, wish you all the best. And thanks again for joining us, Danielle.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you.